Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Maybe I should start by introducing myself. My name is Abdurazak Mwangik, and we are glad that this year we had an opportunity to join the ladies. Actually, this idea, as said earlier, came from the Women's Bike Association from Nairobi. So we are glad to say that we had the opportunity to do a ride on behalf of, in regards to awareness, cancer awareness in Kenya. And just to start off, let me introduce Emanuela from WBA. And we have Dr. Mariam Badawi from Coast General. She's a breast cancer surgeon from Coast General. Okay, so I'll hand over the mic to Manuela so that she can give a small talk in regards to where this all started and what are the expectations and...
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. Yeah, I'm here on behalf of the Women Bikers Association of Kenya. We are the umbrella body for lady bikers and female biker enthusiasts in Kenya. There are a lot of lady biker clubs forming all over the country, and I think it's wonderful to see more women joining. And I see a few here and there. I know 2 people got excited today to take lessons, so welcome to the lady biker or the biking community at large in Kenya. So as the Women Bikers Association or the biking community at large, we are all about road safety, safe riding, having fun on 2 wheels, but we're also about issues pertaining to society and our community. Women's health questions come up all the time, things like breast cancer, cervical cancer, a lot of health questions arise all around the year. So since 2017, we have been celebrating, or rather commemorating, the Global Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is always in October. And it's been growing every year, and I'm so excited that this year we are also in Mombasa, Eldoret, and Kisumu. The Kisumu guys are meeting tomorrow. Eldoret are around 40-50 bikers today. Nairobi, we have 2 rides because we, you know, with COVID, we can't have very big groups meeting. So yeah, it's a national movement. The whole idea is to get educated, to learn something. We dubbed it Bikers for Boobies because we, you know, yes, I can see, it's very catchy, right? Because you realize you know, we make fun even in the biking community, women and men, right? So, but at some point we realize the life-nurturing breasts that we have might actually take us downhill, yeah? So just learning more about breast health. For the men here, I think it's also a very timely conversation. You all have women in your lives. So today is all about learning. What causes cancer? What do we need to know about cancer in Kenya? What are some of the numbers, statistics, and what do we need to take forward as individuals and as the community? And yeah, we are not experts, so we always try and invite people who are very close to the issue. Some of the best breast cancer surgeons in Kenya are joining us today. We have 2 of them in Nairobi, and we have Dr. Mariam Badawi here today. So I think between you and Dr. Ostrovsky and Dr. Hungu, we probably have the best of the best joining us today, just to make sure we get the right information. There's a lot of misconceptions going around about all types of cancer. What causes it? Uchawi, right? There's still a lot going on that we don't know. And so I think today we'll get some really good facts, and I'm really excited. And now I'm gonna take a break and just thank the 2 biking clubs. Someone is not even here standing in front.
Ali,
you should be here. So I just want to really thank you 2 for making it happen very last minute. I think in the last 10 days you've pulled this together, worked with the police, worked with Mamangina so that we can have this little get together and be, you know, broadcasting on TV later. So it's not a small feat, and we really thank you for coming on board for this national cause. Thank you. So yeah, you take it forward. Tell us. We'll have an open question and answer session. She'll just give us the basics. I'm sure she can talk about it for 3 hours, but she'll give us the basics, and then we all ask our questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Manuela and the organizing team. I'm personally very excited to be here. I'm not a biker myself, so let me just declare that. But thank you all for coming out today, and I really would like to applaud all the men who have come out today to discuss breast cancer. I know the conception is usually that breast cancer affects women, so why do we need to bother? The reality is, like Manuela said, you have women in your lives, mothers, sisters, daughters, and also yourselves. You do have breasts. They're not like the women's breasts, but you do have breast tissue, and men do get breast cancer. So it's also good for you guys to learn about breast cancer today. So I'll just give you a brief about some of the things that may cause breast cancer. We don't call them causes, we call them risk factors. Basically, that means these are things that increase your risk at getting breast cancer. So it's not a guarantee that you'll get it if you do these things, but they do increase the risk of you getting breast cancer. So one of the things, of course, it's being a woman, yeah? Any woman is at a higher risk than a man of getting breast cancer. And for women, the risk is actually 1 in 8 women. So worldwide, 1 in every 8 women will get breast cancer in their lifetime. That's a huge number. That's a risk of about 25% here in Kenya as well. It's the most common cancer that affects women worldwide and in Kenya. In Africa, it used to be cervical cancer, but now the number one cancer that affects women, it's actually breast cancer. And it's the second leading cause of death of these women. For men, the risk is about 1%, so 1 in 100 get breast cancer. But unfortunately, when it affects men, it's usually worse than it is in women. So it's good to be aware of that, yeah? So what causes it? So there's some things that we call them modifiable and others that are non-modifiable. Modifiable meaning you can do something about it to reduce your risk. One of them is obesity. That is for both, as in, we mainly talk about women, but all these things are shared. So obesity, that is body mass index that's higher than 30. And also some of the things include alcohol intake and smoking. So any level of smoking, any level of alcohol intake, even if it's just 1 drink per day, or even if it's like 5 drinks in a week, it increases the risk of breast cancer specifically, and any cancer for that matter. So, and the statistics actually say is that the risk for breast cancer increases by 10% with every 10 grams of alcohol taken per day. So that is, sorry. So that is the minimum amount required to increase the risk by at least 10%. That's quite significant. For smoking, even if it's 1 cigarette, it doesn't matter. Any type of smoking, cigarettes, shisha, they all increase the risk of breast cancer and many other cancers, to be honest. So these two go hand in hand. The other things that increase the risk of breast cancer, especially in women, is the use of external hormones. Like postmenopausal women, after menopause, sometimes they take estrogen for other reasons. So this has been shown to increase the risk of breast cancer. You may ask me about, what about the hormonal contraceptives? So some studies show a bit of correlation, but there is no definitive causation between the two. So I will not say that they definitely cause, but what has been observed is that when they stop taking the hormonal contraceptives, those pills, the risk reduces 2 years after you've stopped, okay? Now, some of the things that we can't control is age. It affects mostly women as they age. Family history or personal history of breast cancer. So if a woman has had breast cancer before, they're at a higher risk of getting breast cancer in their lifetime. If they have a family member who's had breast cancer, first-degree relatives, that is mother, sister, father, brother, or a child, then that particular woman is at a higher risk of getting breast cancer than those who don't have a family history. So these are some of the things that increase the risk. And there are so many things that I can talk about for days, but I'll keep it short. Now, we talk about screening a lot, and that is because breast cancer, as much as it's very common, it's actually treatable, and when we detect it early enough, we end up achieving cure at a higher rate. So when a breast cancer is detected in stage 1, we all know that any cancer has stage 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we catch it at stage 1, the chances of survival are like 98%. So that's a very good number. That's why we are usually very aggressive with our campaigns, trying to get people to test themselves so that we detect it as early as possible. So how do we do that? What is screening? Screening is done for women who don't have any symptoms. So they don't have a lump, they don't have pain, they don't have anything. They feel completely fine. They come for that screening because cancer, before you feel a lump, which is the most common presentation, before you feel a lump, it starts as very small, that is undetectable when someone just does their breast self-exam. So what we do is the recommended mode of screening is what's called a mammogram. A mammogram is basically like an X-ray that is specifically for the breasts. So we do that for women above the age of 40, from 40 and above, and it's done every year. The problem many women have is that once they have 1 or 2 mammograms that are normal, then they say, Bas, I don't have breast cancer, I'm good. So they stop screening. And that shouldn't be the case. They need to continue with mammograms every single year, from the age of 40 up to the age of 54 years. Above 54 years, we do it every 2 years now, until the age of 75. That's when we stop. Okay? But if a woman has never had a mammogram and she's now 75, then we do that screening because she's never had one before. But if someone is regular with their screenings at 75, we stop. Okay? So screening is with the mammogram. Some women end up having something called an ultrasound. The ultrasound is, I'm sure you all know what an ultrasound is. It's like the one they do for pregnant women, yeah, to check on the baby. So a similar one is done for the, like me. So a similar one is done for the breast, but that one is not used for screening. Screening is specifically done with a mammogram. And we do that screening, like I said, for women above the age of 40. So what about the younger ones? Now, in the West, you may find, like Manuela may find that their guidelines over there, they tell them they start at age 50. Us, we start at 40. And the reason being is that women in the West, they tend to get breast cancer at a later age, between 50 and 60 and above. But in Africa and in Kenya, we get them at a younger age, unfortunately. And it's more aggressive. That's why we really need to be very vigilant with our health. Now, what if a woman has come, someone in your family has told you, I feel this abnormality in my breasts. Please, this is where your role comes in, that you need to take charge and take them to get checked, because the fear is quite real. These women, they tend to get very scared. They don't take themselves to the hospital, fearing that it will be breast cancer. And now it sort of beats the purpose of us detecting it early, because they end up coming in very late when things, let me not say it's too late, but the chances of survival drop as opposed to when they come early. So it is your role as men to just make sure that the women in your families go for their screenings. And if they do have anything that is abnormal that they've noticed, please take them to the hospital as soon as possible. Do not allow them to delay. It is you who will encourage them to seek help as soon as possible. Yeah? That is basically about screening. So some women, they tend to do something called a breast self-examination. That is, they check themselves and they feel that everything is normal, then they don't need to go to the hospital. Again, that is okay. It's good for a woman to know what is normal in her breasts, but it's not a definitive way of checking whether they have cancer or not. So they have to go for that official screening, which is the mammogram, especially if they are 40 and above. That is it about the screening and the risk factors. I don't know if Manuela, you'd like me to add on to that, or if you have questions, I can take them right now. You know, the heat is a bit too much. There's a question. Yes? Yes. Okay, so he's asking about the technique for breast self-examination. So the technique is basically you use about 2 or 3 fingers, and you don't use the tips, you use the palms of the fingers, yeah? And you just use any system to go through the whole breast tissue. So it can be round, it can be in an S-shaped, yeah? So going back and forth, or just round all the way, ending up towards the nipple, and so on. So it doesn't matter how you do it, it matters that you cover the entire breast region, which comes from up here all the way down here to the armpit to the center. Yeah. So when someone feels for when someone does the breast self-examination, what you're looking for is anything that is unusual to you, because your breasts are different from his, are different from hers, yeah? So you need to learn what is normal for you. That usually is done when you go for your checkup, the first checkup, and the doctor checks you, or the nurse, a trained nurse. They do the check, they tell you your breasts feel fine, in terms of only feeling. So that is the time I always tell patients, so feel it now and know how that feels, so that next time when you feel anything that is different, you come back. Yeah. And mostly breast cancer starts as a breast lump, so like a distinct lump. And most people, when they have that, they know. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. Exactly.
There was a question.
Yes.
Say
So some studies have been done to check whether they actually affect or not. It's not just an observation. Initially it was some sort of an observation, and then some studies were done, but it's a bit conflicting. So I can't tell you don't take contraceptives, but I can tell you that probably, maybe if you have a family history, a strong family history of breast cancer, I would steer away from any hormonal thing, whether it's contraceptive or for whatever reason. But sometimes these hormonal contraceptives, they are not only indicated for contraception per se, they are indicated to regulate the periods and also, and if they're taken for a short period of time, really it's okay. But it's really on a case-by-case basis rather than... Go ahead. Sorry? Where? Yes, thank you. So screening can be done at any healthcare facility. Most of the time here in Kenya, what we have is we do the screening in breast clinics, like the one in Coast General, there's one in Kenyatta, and in private hospitals, for any surgeon, any general surgeon is usually trained to do a breast examination and screening, and even some gynecologists as well. So now in the West, they have screening programs that are national, that are guided by the government. and they are usually paid by the government. So women go for their mammograms, not necessarily a breast exam, because like I said, the most important part is actually the mammogram, not the examination. So they go for that mammogram, and then if anything abnormal is found, they are called back in. We don't have that system yet because it takes a lot of effort and money to set up such a system. So, but what we do is that in each individual hospital, there are usually any general surgeon can do a breast screening. Yeah, and most of the time screenings are done in October. You know, during these campaigns, some hospitals run free breast cancer screening programs, although it's free in terms of clinical examination, but it's not free in terms of the mammogram itself, which is the most important part. So mammograms, but many hospitals you'll find they do subsidized rates in October. So I usually urge many women to take advantage of that. Yeah. Yes. Sorry? The rates, yes, true. So mammograms, normally they are about between 4,000 and 4,500, countrywide that is. But during October, it goes down to like 3K. Yeah, that's in private. In government, they are cheaper than that. And the good thing, sorry?
Government.
Yes.
What place are we looking at with the government hospital?
I can't remember, to be honest. I think it's 2,000. Yes. Yes. Like, okay, I know Kenyatta, it's about 3,000, I think. So Kenyatta is a bit on a higher level. But like, cause general is cheaper, I think it's 2,000. Yeah. Yes. Yes, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, yeah, that's true. Yes. Is it January? I think it's February. I think it's February. Yes, it's cheaper than starting treatment when it's at a later stage. Because now, when that cancer is there, if it's detected only by mammogram, the whole treatment required, the whole treatment required is actually cheaper than if that cancer is detected at a later stage. Yeah. All right. Yes. Yes. So the causes remain the same. So some it's a family history or it's just hormonal. You know, men also have a bit of estrogen in their system. It's not only in women. So it is the estrogen that is implicated in the causation of breast cancer. Yeah. So there is no specific reason that causes breast cancer in men. It's the same risk factors that affect women affect men. It's just that some of them are not related to men, like the history of breastfeeding, for instance. Because breastfeeding and physical activity are two things that have been shown to actually reduce the risk. So the more a woman breastfeeds, the better. The more they breastfeed, the risk reduces by about 4.3% if they breastfeed for at least 6 months. The babies. No, so yes, about the man, the breast cancer in the man. Yes. No, not a particular cause. Okay. I don't think research has not been done in that area.
So it remains rumors.
It remains rumors. Yes. Yes. So, okay, so when women get breast cancer, when they have a breastfeeding baby, it doesn't really affect. It's not like the cancer will be transmitted from the mother to the baby, if that's what you're asking. The flow. So it depends on how big it is, because you see the breast has many what we call lobules, okay? Let me call them like sections, all right? Each section produces milk and each drains into its own duct, okay? Like a tube that brings the milk to the nipple. So they're all sort of separate from each other. But when the cancer starts growing, it just goes everywhere, yeah? So when it's small, the others are still intact. You get, yeah. No, not really. Unless it is
Stage.
at an early stage, it wouldn't.
Let me just get this straight. So the milk could still be coming from the other sections that are not affected.
Exactly.
The ones that are affected won't be producing any milk because
They may still be producing, because even the milk producing cells, there are many. So the cancer could be just affecting one part of that whole section. Yes. Yeah.
You said 1 in 8 women in her lifetime get breast cancer. It's actually a huge number.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to imagine your population. How big and how busy is it? Like breast cancer in Mombasa, what do we need to know?
Okay.
What is your role as the surgeon then?
Yes.
I mean, we all imagine you with your little knife, but what else? What else do you do?
So, okay, for breast cancer in course, our clinic is still, let me call it young. I started it in June at Coast General, this year. So, but as in, no, yeah, there was none. Yes, they were seen by general surgeons together with all the other cases that are not breast related, yeah. But like in Kenyatta, the breast clinic has been there for years. So in Kenyatta, the clinic sees about 70 to 100 women per week. Yes. Some are new, some are revisits. Yeah. Sorry? Foods. Fruits. Food, yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, so yeah, so there is some, let me call them now observations, that a Mediterranean diet, which is more plant-based and all, it reduces the risk of getting it in the first place, but there's no concrete research to that matter, unfortunately. But what we encourage is that a healthy diet for anyone, that is, you have cancer, you don't have cancer, be it being breast cancer, colon cancer, any cancer, a healthy lifestyle always reduces your risk of so many diseases, including cancer, heart diseases, all these things. A healthy diet is the important thing. There are some people who believe that taking dairy products when you have cancer is not a good idea, that it feeds the cancer, or taking sugar. What I normally say, okay, there is no such thing as when you take this food, it will make it worse. For milk to actually affect the cancer, you need to take about 20 liters in a day for it to actually have a negative effect. Okay, so take your dairy. It's just that don't make it your sole diet. Take everything in moderation, okay? And reduce fatty diet, because either way it is not healthy. Now, I'm not saying don't take fats at all. Some fats are important, again, for your whole body. But just don't take too much viazi karai, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Cigarettes, yes. Yes. Mira, okay, in relation to breast cancer, I don't know. To be honest, it's not mentioned anywhere. No. Even alcohol can be said to be natural.
Bang is natural, but you smoke it, it becomes hazardous.
Yeah, so esophageal and tongue. Yes. So Mira chewing increases the risk of getting esophageal cancer. Esophageal is the food pipe. Okay? Yes. The digestive system, starting from the tongue. That's Mira. Yeah?
Any other question? Doctor.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for coming out today. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Daktari. Once again, mine is to thank you guys for coming. Asante sana Daktari for showing
Thank
up,
you.
for coming and support the whole process.
Absolutely.
Manuela.
It's my pleasure.
Ali, got something to say?
No, but just to say thank you for your attendance. It was quite a short notice, but your attendance means a lot. I'm sure next time you're going to do a better job. We had like 10 days to do this thing, and we managed to put you together. And we really appreciate Mombasa Knights, Coast Riders, and any other individual riders that are here with us today. Private bikers. This is a good show. We were supposed to have many ladies with us, but it is what it is. So we'll take the message home, and I think we will do a better job next time. So thank you very much, and God bless.
Breast cancer is a very common cancer, but it's curable, and the diagnosis, it's not a death sentence. So we need to detect it early as much as possible. Encourage all the women in your lives to go for their screening mammograms as soon as possible, and that it should be done every year for women from the age of 40 and above. Thank you.
Okay, tayari. Kwa majina ni Ali Fedha, ni chairman wa Coast Riders Club, ambayo ni chama cha waendeshaji pikipiki katika eneo la Pwani. Hivi leo tumekusanyika ili kutoa awareness juu ya breast cancer ama saratani ya matiti. Katika saratani ambazo zinaleta madhara makubwa ni breast cancer, na tumeonelea leo tujumuike pamoja kutokana na mwaliko wa WBA ambayo ni Women Bikers Association. Tuje hapa Mombasa Water Point ama Mama Ngina ili tuweze kupeana mwelekeo kwamba hii saratani lazima ifanyiwe kazi zaidi, na kazi yenyewe ni wale ambao wako katika hali yao ya kiafya nzuri waweze kwenda kwa kufanyiwa ile ambayo inaitwa early detection, kupimwa, kuangaliwa ili hali zao za kiafya ziweze kujulikana, kwa sababu breast cancer ni kansa ambayo inajificha na lazima iangaliwe na itafutwe ili iweze kupatikana kwa haraka wakati bado iko changa. So basically we are here today to raise awareness about breast cancer. We urge each and everyone, the ladies, the men out there, to do the same. They urge each and everyone to go for early detection, kupimwa na kuangaliwa. That's just about it. Thank you very much.
Habari zenu, kwa majina naitwa Majid from Coast Riders, ambao ni group ya bikers hapa Coast. Leo tumeunganika wanaume kwa wanawake, tuna raise awareness kwa breast cancer. We are urging all the ladies na wanaume pia, wakiwa wanasikia, wanahisi kuwa there is something wrong, waweze kwenda kwa check up na mapema, waipate cancer ikiwa iko kwa stage ya kwanza, tuweze kusaidiwa kwa uzuri. So all the ladies, ikiwa ni wanawake kwa wanaume pia, cause ina affect paka wanaume. A small percentage lakini ina affect. So tumekuja, tumeunganika. Watu wengi huwa hawajui kunaendelea nini, na ignorance inafanya watu wakae kwa nyumba mpaka zifike late stages. Ndio nasikia mtu amekuwa amputated labda breast yake moja, ama inafika stages mpaka inachukua roho za watu. So we urge ladies, mostly ladies, ikiwa wamesikia, wamehisia kuwa kuna kitu kiko wrong, waende to the nearest hospital ambao wanafanya check up, wanafanya screening. The prices are quite reasonable. Waende wafanye check up, wapate matibabu ili waweze kusaidika na mapema. And kwa wale wote ambao wanajua nini naendelea, we urge you to take the messages to other people ambao huwa hawajifahamu ama huwa hawaelewi kunaendelea nini, tuweze kusaidiana, wanawake kwa wanaume. Wanaume ijapokuwa huwa si wengi, lakini pia huwa inawa affect. Asanteni, tunashukuru kwa hapa, na kama kuna chochote zaidi.
Next weekend, hiyo ni Jumamosi na Jumapili ijayo, tutakuwa na screening ya hii cancer, breast cancer, Mvita Clinic. Hiyo ni tarehe 23 na 24 kuanzia asubuhi, tutafanya pamoja na Mombasa County. Karibuni nyote. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Kama nilivyosema kutangulia kusema, asanteni sana. Mimi langu kubwa ni kuwashukuru kwa kujitokeza kwa wingi, kwa kuonesha the support. Although notice tulikuwa na muda mfupi sana kwa organize ile jambo, lakini alhamdulillah ni kushukuru nyote, kuwashukuru Mama Ngina Waterfront, Ali Nur na timu yake kwa kutu host, kwa kutukubalia tutumie facilities za Mama Ngina, na Dr. Mariam kukubali kuwa pamoja na sisi kuwezesha hili jambo, ni kulifanikisha hili jambo. Shukran sana, na tutarajia mwakani, pengine inshallah mwaka ujao tutakuwa better organized na ama well prepared. Yeah. Inshallah, Mungu akipenda. Otherwise, shukran tena sana. Tuneni mwaka ujao ama tuneni ride ijayo. Na kabla sijasahau, natupenda mwanzo kumtakia salamu za kheri Bwana Teddy kwa siku yake kuzaliwa.